Hello, my name is Katie. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's actually been a little while since I filmed a booktube video, and I don't know if I remember how this works anymore. Okay, so we are here for round, I don't know, 3? I think round 3 of Trash My TBR. This is like a really weird stack of books that have just been like haphazardly placed in random places. I just went through and I picked out all those that have been like on top of my shelves or just like sitting on top of other books, just so I could get a nice little stack here. And I don't even know, I guess we'll just start. First things first, we have The New Silk Roads, The Present and Future of the World by Peter Frankopan. I read Peter Frankopan's first book, I think it was just The Silk Roads, and it was about the history of, you know, the trade routes, the Silk Roads. And that I found enjoyable enough that I was willing to read more from the author. I've also heard the author speak on a couple of podcasts, and I'm kind of excited to get to this book now, especially having heard him actually speak like in person about his knowledge on various subjects. So I'm not opposed to picking this up pretty quickly. Next up we have a book that I may or may not be getting rid of. I honestly don't know when, how, or why I picked this up, but this is How to Read Literature Like a Professor, A Lively and Entertaining Guide to Reading Between the Lines by Thomas C. Foster. I don't know what all I want to say about that. The title pretty much gives you all the information, and I don't know why I have it. I suspect at a certain point in time I was like thinking that I wasn't getting very much from the stuff I was reading and that maybe I needed help or some such. So yeah, this is in this stack. Next up I have The Butchering Art, Joseph Lister's Quest to Transform the Grisly World of Victorian Medicine by Lindsey Fitzharris. This I've seen a couple people read and they seem to have enjoyed it, so I'm hoping to get to this pretty quickly. I'm actually sad that it's been sitting on my shelf for as long as it has been. If this is also a book that you have on your TBR, let me know, and if you'd be interested in buddy reading, I'd be up for that. Okay, this is a book I did a very poor job of peeling the sticker off, but oh well. American Radical, Inside the World of an Undercover Muslim FBI Agent by Tamer Elnoury. I just thought this sounded interesting. Given especially how Muslims are treated in this country, the fact that a Muslim became an FBI agent, one, I want to hear the backstory on that because I'm sure it wasn't easy, and two, how does that affect his role, you know, in the general population? How does it affect his ability to do his job? How do people treat him? That kind of thing. So I'm very curious about this. I don't know. I've just not felt any like real urge to pick it up, so I might do like a try a chapter and see if I'm liking, you know, the writing style and the direction it's headed, that kind of thing. Oh, here's an interesting one. A Passion for Leadership, Lessons on Change and Reform from 50 Years of Public Service by Robert M. Gates. I bought this I think when I was still in the military, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be staying in or not, and I thought it would be nice to learn fun, like leadership. It also says recommendations for leaders of all sorts with a special emphasis on the challenges of guiding a large organization. And I thought just in general, anybody who aspires to be in any kind of management position, this would be like good even just to use more as a resource. You know, maybe not necessarily read through the whole thing, but go through and like index certain sections that really you find impactful. So I probably will read this. I don't know if I'm just going to read it like straight through or if I'm just going to pick and choose different sections and kind of read up on things. I haven't decided yet. This was a book I meant to read last year and didn't. The Book That Changed America, How Darwin's Theory of Evolution Ignited a Nation by Randall Fuller. I still want to read it. I'm not sure what happened, or, well, it just didn't happen. Maybe this I'll throw in a try chapter as well, and if I don't like the writing style, I'll just give up on it. Next up, I have 84 Charing Cross Road by Helene, Hanff. This is a book that Gottleib recommended last year during Nonfiction November. And then since then, I've seen several other people read it and really enjoy it. So I thought I would get my hands on it. It was fairly cheap. I got a used copy. It's very short. So this will probably end up on my Nonfiction November TBR just to get through. Next, I have The Poisoner's Handbook, Murder and the Birth of Forensic Medicine in Jazz Age New York by Deborah Blum. I just needed it. I don't know, it sounds fascinating to me. Like, everything about that title sounds interesting, and I hope it doesn't disappoint. If you've read this, let me know in the comments how you felt about it. If it was horrible, just let me know, and then I just probably won't read it, because I don't want to be disappointed by something I'm so excited about. Next is another Olive recommendation, How Music Got Free, The End of an Industry, The Turn of the Century, and the Patient Zero of Piracy by Stephen Witt. This I might use for Nonfiction November as well, because one of the prompts is industry, and I think this kind of fits into that prompt perfectly. So you may see this on my Nonfiction November TBR. Next is a book that I have a couple of reasons I bought it, and I'm not sure how it's going to sit with me, but this is Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan Cain. So Olive loved it. Emma, from a couple books, hated it. And I usually align with both of them in terms of how I feel about books that I read. So it's very interesting to me that they're so different. Like, one is on this end of the spectrum and the other was all the way over here. And I'm really wondering if I'm just going to fall in the middle, or if I'm going to go hard one way or the other. I had to know, though. I had to know, so I bought a used copy, and we'll see. Last stack. Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, A Therapist, Her Therapist, and Other Lives Revealed by Lori Gottleib. I was a little bit concerned, because at first I thought maybe this was something like self-help-ish, and I don't totally enjoy reading self-help all the time. I have read a few in the past, and some I've found really, really helpful, but I'm very selective. But based on reviews I've heard from people about this one, and just my general state of mind these days, I felt like maybe I would enjoy reading this, so that's why I have it. Next up, Being Mortal, Medicine and What Matters in the End by Atul Gawande. I've heard a lot of people who really enjoyed this. I don't read a ton in the way of like medical memoirs and stuff like that, but because people have spoken so highly of this one and I'm trying to branch out somewhat, I thought if I was going to give any of them a try, it should be this one. Next up, a very heavy book. The Hemingses of Monticello, An American Family by Annette Gordon-Reed. This said it was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, and yeah. Like I say, I have never actually heard anybody who's read this, so if you have, please let me know your thoughts. I'm not sure exactly how long this book is. It's very heavy, but that could just be the paper choice. Oh, no, it's 662 pages, and that's if you don't count all the endnotes and the bibliography and stuff. So that's a lot to tackle. But I think it's a very interesting topic, and I think it's one that I would get a lot out of. So probably not this year. I'm gonna say that right now, but maybe in January I'll throw it on a TBR or something. Because if I do, this is probably gonna be the only nonfiction book I actually have on my TBR, because that's a lot of pages. This is a book I also meant to read last year and never did. Warmly Inscribed, The New England Forger and Other Book Tales by Lawrence and Nancy Goldstone. This is just other, like, true stories about books. I don't know how else to put that. But I meant to read it last year and I never got to it. And maybe I will also throw this on my Nonfiction November TBR because it's not that long. And I thought maybe this year I would just do the shortest books that are sitting on my physical TBR and burn through as many of those as I can in the month. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. And the final book I have for this round is As I See It, the autobiography of J. Paul Getty. I bought this when I was at the Getty down in Los Angeles, obviously. Anyway, he was an interesting fellow. I'm not saying he was like a good guy, but he was passionate and he had a lot of interests, and I want to know how he views himself. You know? So I will be getting to this eventually. I've had it for several years now. But probably not this year either. Okay, that's the stack. Let me know in the comment section if you liked any of these, if you hated any of these, if any of these are also on your TBR. I just want to know all the things to help me guide my reading plans a little bit. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you soon. Bye.